We're facing a period of deep insecurity, energy insecurity, climate insecurity, and of course jobs insecurity. And the government says, oh, we can't afford to deal with that. But we can afford to find £1 trillion to bail out the banks. So it's like saying we can't afford to survive.
The video clip you have just seen describes exactly what Adbusters is about. The goals of an organization such as this attempts to provide alternatives to those who think they have none. The previous video was made in response to United Kingdom Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, who said there is no alternative. She stated this comment in response to growing inflation in the UK in the 1980s and said that inflation could not be combated without painful consequences, like the ones that were portrayed in this video. Adbusters, if created during the time when this was an issue, would have tackled this problem immediately. Beginning in 1989 with Adbusters' formation, activist movements began to arise in opposition to consumerism. Callie Lasson, who is Adbusters' founder, wrote a book entitled Culture Jam, which could be considered the fuel to the fire for these activist groups. In turn, Adbusters was created to stop the branding of everything in American culture and to encourage the public to consider a life with more meaning, authenticity, and less fixation over brands and advertisement reliance. Adbusters' main goal is to shake up the way people think about our society. Switching the mindset of the people from a consumerist view to one with more meaning could be labeled the main goal. Culture Jam by Cal Lasson was published on November 7, 2000. Lasson discusses consumerism as the fundamental evil of the modern era. He calls for a battle of ideas to shift Western society away from consumer capitalism. In Culture Jam, Lasson fights the assumptions we as a society have on the large-scale corporations and our own individual rights. He describes the use of culture jamming to combat the injustices of corruption. Lasson describes culture jamming as a form of political communication that has emerged in response to the commercial isolation of public life. Lasson's goal is to help America break their fixation on icons and brand names. He speaks from the views of consumers and is starting the most important movement for social change that will affect the way we think and live. Nike. Everyone knows the name and recognizes the famous swoosh. But how much do you really know about the inner workings of your favorite shoe and sports gear company? Nike has been using sweatshop production since the early 1970s. Nike representatives denied these claims for years and said that they had no control over their factories. But in 2001, Nike director Todd McKean stated in an interview, "Initial attitude was, hey, we don't own the factories. We don't control what goes on there." Quite frankly, that was a sort of irresponsible way to approach this. We had people there every day looking at quality. Clearly, we had leverage and responsibility with certain parts of the business, so why not others? End quote. The longer these actions are pursued, the more and more soulless Nike will become. Occupy Wall Street was a protest movement that began September 17, 2011 in Zuccotti Park, located in New York City's financial district. These protesters' slogans was, "We are the 99%. This slogan shows the frustration of the unequal distribution of wealth throughout the United States and brings to light the financial power of the top 1% in the U.S. Some of the goals Occupy Wall Street sought out to accomplish were allowing corporations to have less influence on political races, a more balanced distribution of income throughout the United States, more jobs for Americans, and relief for students in debt with school. Adbusters has a big effect on Occupy Wall Street. Callie Lasson and Micah White initiated the protest. Using the internet, Adbusters emailed subscribers, "America needs its own Tahir." From then on, the idea got around very quickly. Thus began the peaceful protest. Thousands lined up to march for this cause of financial equality, with the main point that Adbusters wanted to get to the federal government was that this is a democracy, not a corporatocracy. Starting in the United States in 1998, Buy Nothing Day happens on November 23rd and 24th. Adbusters encourages you to make a personal challenge to stop consuming for 24 hours, to go cold turkey from consumer culture completely. Those who have accepted this challenge previously have had a life-changing perspective, a glimpse in how to consume less and live more precariously on the planet. Buy Nothing Day promotes the idea of celebrating Christmas differently this year. Some examples are to get your family and friends together and go on a Walmart. This is when you and a group of people walk around Walmart in a line with shopping carts buying nothing. Also, you can celebrate Buy Nothing Day with a credit card cut up. This means that you stand in the mall with a sign offering a simple service, to put an end to exuberant interest rates and mounting with a considerate cut. There are many other ways to celebrate Buy Nothing Day, but the main idea of this quote holiday is to relieve stress of buying gifts and being an everyday consumer. As one can see, Adbusters plays a very influential role in American society. As we mentioned before, Adbusters attempts to switch the mindset of the public away from corporations and advertising to a life with more meaning. Through the use of social movements such as Occupy Wall Street and Buy Nothing Day, or spoof ads created by the magazine itself, Adbusters truly does shake up the way we think about things in society. Without Adbusters, who knows if we would have an organization dedicated to an important cause such as this.